panoramic photography, this is like great. Panoramic photography. Now, the thing that we all do is we crop to a pan. I still do it. It's no problem. Best with high megapixel cameras so you don't lose too much file size. You want about a 40 meg file in general, minimum, for best image quality at various image sizes, various uses commercially, somewhere in that range. Just crop down. These are all shot with cropping in mind. So you overshoot it, you have more than you want to use with the intent, or not, of cropping it down later. These are all like straight shots with a D3X, so they're all fairly large file sizes. Folly Beach in Charleston. This caused a major traffic. You can imagine the traffic jam going on when everybody saw this in New Hampshire. It was like, the end of the world. It was like running around, But this is the deal. This is the stuff that I love, man. Stitch pans are great. Best in vertical format. You'll see why a little later. But the basic idea is that when you shoot a horizontal stitch pan that's long, not a short one, but long, 4, 5, 6 images, they become like thin little ribbons. There's nothing, there's no substance there. They're like thin little ribbons. You want to shoot vertically because you will need to crop these down. It's not a perfect process. You'll need to crop, and when you crop them vertically, you have much more left than with a horizontal, which if you start cropping that down, you have nothing left. So you want to shoot vertical and then crop down, and you have a lot of material left. Here's the gear for a quick $1,000. I think it's $888 now, not including tax, so about $1,000. But this is, most of you probably have this. Whoever have this, the panning head is great. Panning head will do what you want as long as you want to stay right here. You stay right there, you're good. If you want something here, you're not going to get it. Turn the camera down, and then you have this, right? So, straight panning head is great if you want to do that. If you want to move it at all, you need this. If you do a lot of pans, you need this. If you're serious about panoramics, you need this. If you do it once in a while, no problem. Panning head's good. Do it by hand. High ISO, f8. If it's bright enough, you can just shoot by hand, manually. Just hand hold. Overlap by 2/3. The shutter speed's fast enough, you're good to go. No problem. That's how Sue shoots a lot of hers, and they're very good. They're great, by the way. With this setup, this is a newer one with that big handle, which I like a lot. But the camera goes here, and that allows you to turn that down. See it? Where that's level, this can go up and down like an arm. Okay, so it gives you maximum flexibility. Rather than one nodal point, which is customary in pans, there's 2 nodal points on here with this device. Front of the front element, center of the tripod, center of the lens, center of the tripod. What that means is, if I'm photographing a pan of Mount Fuji 1,000 miles away, it doesn't matter where that is. It's irrelevant. But if I'm shooting this room, and I have like people here and people there, okay, if it's out of register, these guys are like ghosting. That's when you need this, right? That's what that's for. You start seeing things wider. See the way that we see. Okay, we see things from from about here to about there. That's a wide view. That's how we see stuff. 35 mil kind of crops it down into a more unnatural view. Panoramic is more natural. That's Iceland, one of my favorite shots. It's called turf houses. All these things here, they're great. Phenomenal place. 7 shots from Eagle Lake on a really nice morning in Acadia. Just one shot wasn't enough. You want to show more of what's going on. One image didn't make it, man. I wanted to show more. That's what they're for. One shot wouldn't make it there. I want to show this entire little Icelandic interior waterfall. That's just 9 images. 11. This is a shot in Magnolia Gardens, Charleston, with that same device. L bracket, camera's pointed maybe slightly down. There's no degrees. When you're on that panning head, you are locked into this. There's no 1 degree down, nothing. You're here. Having that arm lets you adjust the camera any way you want, maybe down a degree, which is still impossible when it's stuck on that panning head. I like this shot because that's the biggest tree I ever saw, and those are cars. Nice, huh? Biggest tree I ever saw, biggest live oak I've ever seen, and those are 2 cars. Okay, so we're saying at Font Hill. You ever been there in Doylestown? It's pretty nice, yeah. Going there next week. Yep, that's a 14 millimeter. Okay, the wider the lens, the more the overlap has to be. Because if you look at a 14 on a tripod and you move it, it's like a funhouse mirror. As you move it, everything gets distorted. So you've got to give it enough room to find the edge. So I go by at least maybe 2/3 on a 14 millimeter. I need a lot more shots, but I'm guaranteed I'm not wasting my time. Because as Greg will bear me out, the first time we did that at Drayton Hall, they didn't match up, did they? No. I didn't know what I was doing then, that's right. I know slightly more now. Anyway, overlap by 1/2 or 2/3, and then they can find the edge. It's also an HDR, so a lot of images here. Bring that detail in. Really fun shot, dodging traffic, getting yelled at outside of Bishop, California. Okay, 11 images, but the most important thing is the balance. A lot of visual weight on this side, so we want to minimize that. We want to minimize the visual weight so it balances out with the other 3/4 of the frame. I actually shot that twice. First time didn't quite work. I had 50-50. Way too much rock on the right, so that's not going to work. And then I shot a second version with started further over and showed a lot more of this. So this 1/3 equals this 2/3. Does that make sense? Just trying to balance the visual weight, you know. You can also only slightly extend your canvas. It doesn't need to be like this huge wide panoramics. If you want to extend your canvas slightly, Jack Dykinga does this a lot. Jack always shoots 2 and 3 or 4 images to extend the canvas slightly. That's all this is. These are 4 verticals, about a 1/2 overlap. It's just a big 35 millimeter slide. It's a little bit longer, a little bit more expanse. Nothing wrong with extending your canvas, nothing. Bigger file size, show more of what's happening, etc. It's a very valid way to shoot, especially here. Did you ever get a shot where you're standing somewhere and you can't move, the subject's got to be where it is, and your lens didn't quite cut it? So you walked away. Couldn't get the shot, right? Here's where you do it. One frame doesn't cut it. I had to be here. Car was there. I had to be here. There's too much sky. People over here. Very busy. Took 2 shots. That's it. Boom. 1, 2. Then you stitch them. Problem solved. That's all there is to it. Learn to think in multiple images. Shoot 2 to stitch together. Multiple focusing points. You got to be thinking of more than just one shot. Photography is not what it used to be. And little software work on that, but that's the idea. And a couple little standard pans, a pen cove. Okay, a picture of editing. This is a picture of editing, okay? What's that look like to you guys? Middle of nowhere, like a futuristic, nuclear world, everything's gone. And the ironic part is that says taxi stand. Yeah, middle of nowhere. Well, I got news for you. Right here is a big entertainment pier. And right here, you'll see soon, is a big entertainment pier. So by cutting those out, we have a whole new world. Have a whole new world. Post-Sandy, beach, dunes are gone, no more dunes. It's all about editing. Classic Cape May. Well, I love Cape May. I love it. You can move there tomorrow. Sue might not, but I would. I love Cape May. This classic beach avenue on Cape May. Characteristic bowing of pans. If you're standing, think of it. If you're standing in one spot, if I'm shooting this way, that's one thing. But if I'm shooting this way, you see the shape of it? It's got a bowed shape. That's what that is, okay? That's what you get standing in one spot doing an extreme pan. You get this bowing thing, right? Not a fan of too much of that, but some of it's okay. So what's got to be done here? You look at your shot, what does it need, and how do we fix it, okay? So all those problems are solved here. A little bit of bowing, which is fine. Tone down using free transform warp. Anyone use that command? It's pretty amazing, but it's got its limits. What it does